Well, folks, here we are in the lab, and surprise, not a lantern video. This is a HALLICRAFTERS video. This is HALLICRAFTERS. That's an S-108. And over here is a very old HALLICRAFTERS. And this is an S-20R. This is an old beast. And I use it every day. Every single day. I freaking love this thing. And there's some old scanners that are all, well, that one's not hooked up. That one's working. This one's working. Hard to see the readout on that one. It's barely going. You can barely, oh yeah, here we go. Auto squelch seems to do pretty good. Well, anyway, so I already tried this out and let the tubes warm up. So I only have band spread right now. The tuner wire has popped off, so I can't really do any other tuning, but I do know it works because I got lucky that where this sat, I was able to discern that it works before. Huh? Some repeater going off. Let's see, what antenna do I got on? Anyway, we don't have time for that one. All right, so I was able to find out that, and I got it hooked up to my dipole outside, so. Well, the conditions are different than they were when I tested this the other day, but yeah, well, let's see. Well, what band are we on here? Let me see. Here, band number 2. Yeah, it's pretty weird. So main tuning is over here, and this is band spread. Isn't that weird how it's backwards? I mean, that's just crazy. But yeah, I wonder what frequency we're on. Anyway, we're getting some French, most likely French Canadian. I'm less than an hour from Lake Ontario, so. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up the case here and see if I can find something suitable, maybe fishing wire to use for the tuner there for the time being. It is fall is coming up, so I know that all the heat from the tubes and the heat from summertime and humidity isn't gonna loosen up the fishing line too much. I haven't looked around to see if I have any other good twine that would be suitable. Anyway, let's get this case off and figure out what, most likely these 4, and then some on the bottom. Let me get the case. I'm gonna unplug it and let it kind of discharge a little bit, and I'm gonna open her up. Okay, so we got case open. I do apologize. I thought I was just gonna get the case off and then we would continue, but I fucked up. Of course, my first time pulling this chassis apart here. So, well, one of these was soldered in and the other one was plugged in. I yanked without thinking about it. Yeah, I yanked and it pulled out the post here. So what I'm going to try to do is solder this little post back on, or I may just get some nice thick wire and a little jumper and put some fresh plugs on like I'm doing here. So that's what I'm doing right now. Now I'm assessing. Now I'm digging out the soldering iron not going to use torch in here, obviously. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Okay, so we have rectified that little issue with the speaker. Now we can get on to things, get some stuff out of the way. I am using blue tape, not for final assembly. This is just so I don't drag it across any grounds or any contacts, and I don't want to fry anything. So, and it's also a reminder to me to make sure I get everything nicely hardwired before we reassemble here. Now, the issue we are having now, I put enough lead, by the way, I put enough lead on this where I can actually get this case out of my way. Let me see here. Get out of my way, but I can still hear with the original speaker when we get things going here. Oh yeah, that's gonna work out great. Oh, that's awesome. Get that out of the way. Now we can get this under the lights. Okay. Now, get some light back down on there. I can see that the string is indeed off. I want to make sure I know where it goes. Okay, I think it goes just to that. All right. So, let me show you where I'm at. Okay, let me see if we can get you a little bit closer. Okay, so you can see here a little string here, and I can see where it's got to go around. Looks like from oh, look at that little spring tensioner. Okay, cool. Now I can kind of, okay, you know what, I like that, but how does that work? How the hell does that work? How do you keep from running that over? I don't know how that works. I guess it needs to be in a place where it's not rolling over the roller. Okay, yeah, all right, so this has very short movement. That's so weird because this is the main tuning, but I wonder if I can do that without worried about that tensioner spring. All right, so I'm looking down here. I know the caliber of string. Okay, I can see. Oh, the spring goes in there. I see. See that one? It's for the fine tuning or the band spread. Okay, so that's how they do it. Oh, how the hell would I get that in there? I'll have to flip this thing around and look at the other side. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, meow. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah, oh man. I just broke one of my contacts off, my antenna contact, center post. Like I said, I just made 2 new problems trying to fix one that was existing. I made 2 more, and I'm just extending this whole thing out. But I need to look at things here. But see, this is learning by doing, folks, and that's the motto of my channel. I'm learning by doing here. Okay, now we get some good light. Let's take a closer look here. All right, well, I'm gonna kind of try. How the hell? I'm gonna look around here and see. I mean, my mother was an avid quilter, and there is thread all over the place. This is a good thick thread. I want to look around and investigate and see if I can find. So I think I have some actually right here nearby. Let me take a look. Okay, what I was thinking of was very fine jewelry wire. not string. Okay. That goes back in with the vintage tacks. So here's an idea I think I'll try. How about inner core out of some paracord? Some of that. Why not? Why can't I try that? Why don't I? All right, let me get a length here. We'll cut it and we'll get a piece out and try it. Okay. Gonna have lots of lengths of this string, but it could take a couple of attempts. I could screw it up because I don't exactly know how that tension or spring works. So I'm going to attempt to kind of tie it tight and then loop it over like putting a serpentine belt on a car. So let's try one of these lengths of, I mean, this is 500-pound paracord, so this should be plenty strong. All right, so I see where we gotta be. This will be interesting. Okay, where did I just do with my other needle nose? Okay, so I'm gonna come down here. I'm not plugged in, am I? No, I'm not. All right, there's one side. I'm really trying not to make more problems. More money, more problems, right? Okay, I don't want to screw that other string up. And there, oh, I almost had it. Oh, I almost had it. Gotta be quicker than that.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
What the hell? Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh! God, I keep making new problems. This is insane. Oh, I undid it all. Jesus. Oh, man. All right, so I need one going under that and over that is what I need. And I just reversed it all and fucked it all up. I'm going to be doing a lot of swearing here because I really don't care right now. It's funny, the basics. I mean, obviously, this is not built to be for this to be done every day. You know what I mean? Okay. Got this end. Jesus, don't get it into any other. Oh man. I keep laughing because I'm just amazed at how I keep making issues worse here just by showing up. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay, world. I get you. It snags on everything else, and everything else it snags on is important. And that's why I really don't care if I'm hitting the camera with my face here, because this is more important than the camera in my face. I've had to reroute this a couple of times because I keep getting it in with this other pulley. I do not want to touch this other wire at any cost, but I have done it about 20 times here. Okay, I do believe that does that. We'll see if this nylon is too slippery. All right, back around. Now what? Jesus, now what, Brad? Okay, let's see. This is what we want. Oh. I just got to make sure I get this tight enough, since we're not using that tensioner. So I kind of want to mark that so I can maybe pull it off that. So I wonder if I pull this off to the side, make a knot, and then see if I can. First of all, I got a lot of slack here. I want to get rid of some. If I could find something to fucking cut it with. Yeah, boy. Might have made it a little too narrow. I'm thinking of, the old serpentine belt. There, that's what I wanted. Okay. Ah, I think I did it. I think I did it, folks. Success.
Testing 1, 2. KB2OUA. I believe I heard KB2OUA in there. And let me just.
Sounds like conditions started coming back and around.
And KB2OUA.
All right, that's a triple knot. That should be.
Over.
That should be good. There's my. I'm gonna leave a little. It doesn't matter. I won't be able to untie and retie it.
I hear you fine there, Tim John. Okay, yeah. I'm on the wrong type of headphones right now. I'm on the wireless headphones, so I'm gonna have to switch over.
Nice. Okay, now on to other things. Now I was going to clean this tuner out here and get some contact cleaner on some of these nobules, but I gotta freaking fix this. My cable. Where is it? Yes, this. I have to fix this. So, let me do that. And then we're going to plug this baby in and very happily be able to see the tuning. And I see, boy, I wonder if I got something with a bulb in it. I know this bulb is working. That one isn't. It's generally pretty clean in here. I mean, you know, dusty, but there's no grossness like, you know, any kind of rot or anything, you know, rust or anything. This is in really nice shape. And since I have two other HALLICRAFTERS, two very old HALLICRAFTERs, I think I got plenty of tubes if needed any, but this thing was working. I'm going to work on this. I'll be back in a sec. All right, let's power it up. So, antenna plug's fixed, and we're going to power it up. Light has come on. Oh, the other bulb's working. I guess maybe I didn't test this thing out at night. So, we'll let her warm up. And we'll have some fun here, I hope.
Kelly 922 Romeo Alpha, 8 nautical miles to the northwest, and I think you're left down on the wind. 431, Canada.
All right, band switch is real dirty.
Friends from across the pond. Let me guess. Australia?
Okay, let me, I'm going to go in here and get that tuner switch a little lubed up. Hold on a minute. That's much better.
else that was dropped.
Perhaps it's encouraged people to come just as were. In fact, you quoted it just a minute ago. Matthew 11, 29. Come to me and are heavy laden, and I will.
I guess they think that if this is where we'll start with them and then we'll move to the second rounder, that doesn't go. That usually doesn't go well because now you're really counting on what if he does play well. And Rattler's one of those guys that can look really, really good, or he can look really, really bad. If you can keep it on the 30 pitch count and you can get the good.
Okay, I gotta make sure this all dries up. I think I did a little something funky there by having it on and putting tuna cleaner on there. So I'm gonna give it a few minutes. Let it dry out.
Yeah, but you were like 800 cycles below me. Or was it 800 cycles or something like that? It seemed like, it seemed weird like that. But can that possibly be? And hopefully, I zero beat it to your transmit frequency. I don't know if you have to receive with that sideband rig 800 cycles away from another AMer's frequency in order for you to hear me. I don't know if you had your receiver incremental tuning control pushed in and 800 cycles off. I don't know. Hey, WA1HLR. And Tim, okay, very good. So we'll see. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to be painting today. Painting for...
All right, so what I'm doing, I'm cleaning off that track. This track, because this is really, I don't know where else to really lube up. I put a little squirt of 3-in-1 oil on this little area here. These don't have Zert fittings or anything like that, do they? I don't want to lube anything that, might have cable on it, because that would be stupid. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to put a little, that was acetone, by the way. I used acetone to get all this older grease off of here. I can see that there is greasiness going on. Gotta be real careful. And I can see that there's oily fuzz coming out of this little thing, but I certainly don't want to screw with it. Don't want to screw with it. All right, so I think I'm going to get a little WD-40 on a Q-tip and lube that up. Actually, maybe I'll do the 3-in-1. That'll last a little longer. I want to make sure I don't get any lubrication on this cable. Why? I don't know. Because I don't know is why I'm doing it. Weird. There is some serious tension. Still there. Does seem to move a tiny bit easier. It could be what's underneath that little orange thing there. Yeah, I don't know where else you would put any lube.
Hey, over to you, Tim.
Yeah, it's hard to feel control. Okay, oh, it's moving a lot easier down the bottom here, bottom of the band. Maybe the...
Yep, that's what I
Okay, I'm going to give this a few more minutes to dry up, and then we're going to turn this on and see if we can tune in what I'm listening to over here. These guys in 40 meters. Of course, Timtron and some other guy trying to tell Timtron his business. You don't want to do that because you're going to have a big QSO coming up. All right, I'll be back. Okay. So VFO works.
Did you copy that, Bob? I hear him very well. I figure I gotta get you an amplifier, especially if you never hear from that guy. Chad, there's two of them. I'm sure they'll be letting anyone.
All right, let's see if we can find these guys. So
You have two emitters sometimes. You might have two emitters on the same transistor, but you know, those power transistors they look like there are four terminals out of it, but there are two of the terminals were the emitters, and I've replaced them. And I think you have to check each emitter to see if it's working, or to see what was wrong.
So there's a little bit of crackling. I'm assuming it's probably one of these knobs or toggles, maybe a little dirty.
Also, you were mentioning
The volume control I cleaned up already. Power or band switch I cleaned up.
about the thick wall.
Well, I think before I put this back together, we'll take a peek at the bottom. It's real pretty, real clean looking down there. Unlike this, my S-41A, or the S-40A? Yeah, the S-40A that I recapped. There's kind of a mess in there, a lot of old cloth stuff. This is a little more modern, I would say, what? Late 50s, early 60s?
Realize it would get so cold in the house to burst the pipes. And fortunately, this is a camp. This place.
Okay. Well, Timtron. I can barely hear Timtron on the S20R, and it's been that way lately. Maybe he has a beam that's been pointed in another direction for quite a while. But then again, this is summer conditions, so maybe I just got really used to listening to him in the winter time when conditions were so good, and we were at the total solar peak of our cycle. All right, so there's our nuts and all our bolts. So let's take a quick look at the bottom of this, and I'm gonna do it in a way where I'm not gonna screw with this or anything. I just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, if it ain't, cracked, don't freaking crack it. Jesus Christ. Because like I said, I have a way of manifesting new jobs just by showing up. So let me see how we can do this here. I'm not going to turn this baby over. Too many corners and things that I don't want to screw with. But we are functional. It would appear that the bands are all working. Yeah, 10 meters. Yeah, that's a little quiet. Although I didn't try my 10 meter antenna. Let me try that. Let's take a peek around. I'm going to put my 10 meter antenna on. See if I get anything. I got something around 14 megahertz. Religious stuff, of course. Huh. Okay.
Speaks to us about how temporary things are in this world. You can spend $30 on a bomb and
Okay, well that's my 80 meter, my inverted V dipole. Pulling this in. This is about 14.5 megahertz. And that's on the dipole. Barely hear it on the 10 meter antenna. I should go out there and check it. I haven't even looked to see if the 10 meters even still hanging in the tree. It's been a hairy summer, man, weather-wise.
Lost soul, we can pray.
And the long wire?
It's not up to human powers. When God wages war, he doesn't need to depend on the Pentagon or Kremlin or anything else. In 2 Corinthians 10:4, the Bible says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, that is of this earth or flesh."
That's so weird. So weird that the dipole is pulling that in better than the long wire. Okay, well, at least we know.
Hasten to point out, for one thing only, defiant disobedience of clearly understood. But again, let's focus on principles. The principle being taught in Scripture is that parents are responsible for training their kids. So in other words, for discipline. How do you define discipline? Well, it's not a bad thing. I mean, soldiers and athletes...
All right, let's take a look
physicians,
at the
you know,
bottom of
they're
this
all
thing.
very disciplined, aren't they? Right, well, let's...
I'm turning it off. So I'm gonna go handheld and go up from the underside. Like I said, I learned my lesson, man. If I just go moving crap around, I'm gonna screw something up. So before I do this, I'm gonna get rid of any knobs and metal things that could make things bad. Put back all my tools I used for this crazy little job. I'm so glad that my first choice for tuner wire did the trick, and I knew that it was going to be strong, so that's why I was able to put a whole bunch of tension on it, much like I said, much like a serpentine belt. Like, I don't know if you've ever had to feed on a belt onto a pulley on your car, and you know, maybe a belt on your lawnmower, so you kind of crink it around one corner and then move the whole wheel and bring it all around. And that worked because I knew I was going to be able to put a whole bunch of tension on that nylon wire or nylon string. I'm not sure if I was supposed to go a couple loops around this one pulley over here, but it's working from end to end, not a problem. I'm not needing that spring tensioner or nothing. But speaking of that spring tensioner, here, let's see, that's not it. Where is it? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape this. I'm gonna place it somewhere inside of here so it doesn't get lost. Maybe I'll tie it to something that it won't interfere with things. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Before I put the lid back on and screw it on, I'm gonna tie this to something so it is here with parts for this thing, for either for me or if somebody else down the road. By the way, is that an RCA plug? See that? See that right there? That right there. That looks like an RCA plug. What would that be for? Maybe for, looks like somebody drew around it. For testing, maybe? But there's that freaking screw right next to it. Huh. I don't know. Maybe the bottom will tell me. You know, anyway, let's take a look at the bottom here. Yeah, here we are. Here's the bottom. Let's see, where is that? Yeah, I wonder. Right there is where that RCA plug is. Let me take a picture. Click. Is that it? Yeah. whatever that is, and there's like a contact that is not plugged into it. I wonder if that is for, I wonder if that's for testing or something. I'm trying to snap a pic here. Anyway, it's looking nice and clean in here. Wow. Recapping? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I screwed up my other radio. It still works, and I've been, I've been using it in bed nightly until I just got a little discouraged with the volume issue that I generated. Do I want to hit these switches at all while I have this apart? No. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Okay. All right, I'm going to put this baby back together, and okay, I'll get back to you. Well, there we have it, folks. All right, folks. Well, this has been a great test. So next test is going to be let it get nice and warm, and I'll see if the BFO drifts at all. So that'll be a test for later tonight when I come in here to do another project. I have a lantern project all set up here. That is a Dietz smudge pot. Very cool. That'll be my next. Yeah. Anyway, so here we go, man. We got the tuner wire all done, and we got everything all cleaned out. I think we're good. It does a couple funky things. I think there's a loose tube in the back, a very jiggly tube. But we got some kinks to figure out with this thing. But here we have it, HALLICRAFTERS model S-108, sitting on top of my very favorite S20R. This thing, you just feel like you're inside the signal. I feel it. I can almost do it while I'm deaf. I mean, it's, out of all my radios, this is the best, for sure. But this one, where in the shack this is going to go, I am not, probably into the bedroom for my nighttime listening. But we'll visit that in another video. And because I have another radio, I got two radios in the bedroom. One of them is a recap that didn't work out too great for me. But all right, folks, that's all I have for right now. And as usual, don't you go changing.
We'll be back with the Magic Tunes for the Armada Room's 2-hour disco swing party after this short break. Till then, don't you go changing.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.